Now, to talk more about this, we have PAOCC spokesperson Winston Casio on the line, joining us on Morning Matters today. Magandang umaga po.
Hello, good morning, Gretchen, and good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
Okay, as we mentioned in our story, 11,000 POGO workers remain in the country. This is reported to us by the Bureau of Immigration. This was supposed to end by December 31. Where is government having difficulty?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Presently, we're running after around 11,000 POGO workers who have defied the president's ban and the BI's order for them to leave the country no later than the 31st of last December.
Okay, as you mentioned, 11,000 nga po, ano? But what are the challenges that we're facing here? Ito po ba yung nababanggit nyo? Kasi last year, nasabi ninyo that they have devolved into smaller operations. Is that mostly the main concern here? Because I do believe that there are also concerns on the documents that are needed to deport them.
Yeah, there are varying factors, ma'am, that basically has delayed the full implementation of this ban. One, you're correct, a good number of the big hubs have devolved into smaller units and have hidden basically in plain sight. They're in condominium units, they're in apartment complexes, and even some residential areas. But a good number that are still within some cities in the southern parts of Metro Manila. We do believe that they have evolved their operations from purely offshore gaming operations, and they're hiding behind some legalities. We're trying to look into the legalities that they're using to hide their operations. For one, they could be taking advantage of the business process outsource mode. They may have reinvented themselves into BPOs, but at the end of the day, despite only doing back office operations, we do believe that some of them are still into receiving bets and paying out winnings of the bets. Third, for those that we have in our detention, we are unable to fully deport all of them because the national of potential deportees physically present their passports. And that's going to be a problem, and that has been a problem because most of these foreign nationals do not have in their possession their passports anymore.
Can I just clarify, out of the 11,000 POGO workers we are looking to deport, ilan po rito yung nag-aantay na lamang ng aksyon mula sa BI na makaalis po sila ng Pilipinas dahil po sa mga dokumento?
Dito po sa BIWF facility, sa Bureau of Immigration Warden Facility, I think they still have around 300 or more dyan sa Ryrans building sa Parañaque. And sa amin naman po, from PAOCC, we 90 detainees who are awaiting deportation. Basically, in our case, we're simply waiting for the NBI clearance to be issued to them. Again, as earlier, we're unable to secure the NBI clearance because the NBI has a policy, a written policy that basically requires that all of these foreign deportees, before they can apply for an NBI clearance, they should be able to present their physical passports. Now, we've written the NBI, asked them to forgo with this policy and simply use the Bureau of Immigration entry records as the proofs of identities of these POGO deportees.
Okay, and has this already been approved, or are you still waiting for a response?
We're still waiting for a response from the NBI leadership. We've sent out the letter, I think, more than a week ago. And hopefully by this week or maybe next week, we'll get a positive reply from them.
Spokes, i-clarify ko kasi medyo choppy lang po yung linya kanina. No? Sabi niyo po 300 plus na sa Parañaque, tas 90 sa PAOCC. Tama po ba yung pagkakarinig ko?
90 detainees. 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 90 det No, if I'm not mistaken, yung Bureau of Immigration Warden Facility, from the latest operation that they conducted with the National Bureau of Investigation, with the Rai-Rans POGO, I think they still have more than 300 or more than 200 awaiting deportation. Now, with us in PAOCC, in our own custodial facility, we have more than 290 who are still awaiting the issuance of their NBI clearances before we can proceed with deportation.
This means if you compute that, there are about 600 in government hands and also more than 10,000 still out there. Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am. We're still receiving reports. I mean, by we, the Commission, the National Bureau of Investigation, and the PNP, together with BI, we're still receiving reports that there's still a good number of operations all over the Philippines. Here in Metro Manila, they're basically clustered here in the southern parts of Metro Manila. We've been receiving reports of them being in Makati, being in Pasay, Parañaque. So we're doing case build-up to be able to secure the necessary warrants and the necessary mission orders to be able to neutralize these remaining POGO facilities.
Okay, Spokes, I want to go into the legalities that you talked about. These POGO operations now hiding under the BPO ITM industry, reinventing themselves as BPOs. How do you think could you track these operations? How is it possible? And what would be the defining line?
Well, basically, the president was quite clear with his pronouncement last July 2024. He has basically issued a clear directive to ban all forms of POGOs, all forms of offshore gaming operations, and all industries related to this particular offshore gaming operations. And that includes business process outsourcing that caters to offshore gaming operation. Because basically, it's very difficult to draw the line between pure BPOs, the actual customer service relation BPOs of the traditional mode, and those BPOs that cater to offshore gaming operation. We've seen this in Bataan. We've seen this in the operation that we've conducted in Bataan. They were supposed to be a business process outsource, but the software that they were using, as seen from the computers that we've seized, we've retrieved, they were also they were also using softwares that were into iGaming, internet gaming. So it's a very difficult line to draw between this type of operation. So as far as the Commission is concerned, we implement the President's mandate that he has banned all types of POGOs under Executive Order 74, series of 2024, and that includes BPOs that cater to accept bets, pay out bet winnings in relation to offshore gaming.
Ibig sabihin po, pag yung taya ay nanggaling sa labas ng bansa, ito po yung bawal. Pero pag yung taya ay galing within the country, I mean, it could be, pwede po siyang maging lusot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Opo. Basically, that's the definition of offshore gaming. Kapag foreign bettors, players, pay betting from the outside of the country, that's basically offshore gaming, and that's
to track this, you have to be able to know or take a look into what's happening in their software.
Precisely, ma'am. Precisely, and we've still been receiving a good number of reports from a good number of concerned citizens that they believe that some of the BPOs that they're working in are actually into offshore gaming. So nakakabahala po ito kasi some of these businesses are contravening what the President's directive intended.
Okay, is there a better way to track these operations? Like, for example, taking a look at the exchange of money through digital platforms or tracing where the cash is sent?
Well, that's easier said than done, Gretchen. In as much as the Philippine law enforcement agencies do not have a foolproof or a rigid mechanism to be able to take to track digital currency platforms. Isa yan sa mga areas that we need to improve on if we would like to really succeed in the fight against this money laundering. Kasi basically, this is a type of money laundering, no? Tinatago nila yung mga illegal proceeds nila sa pamamaraan na akala nila ay magiging legal. So they're trying to clean their money. So unfortunately, medyo may kakulangan pa tayo doon. Bagamat the DICT and the CICC together with the NBI and PNP are trying to improve their digital forensic capability, fast track their capability, so to speak, they have yet to reach their full potential. Kaya medyo mahirap po yung ganyang proseso pa at this point.
I know you raided several POGO operations already. And nagtataka lang po ako kung ano po nangyari dun sa mga na-confiscate po natin ng mga cellphone and also the corresponding e-wallet accounts in those cell phones that are being used for these POGO operations. Meron po bang mga funds na na-freeze dun po sa mga e-wallet na nahawak po natin dun sa cellphone?
I'll be honest with you. We have applied for several warrants to seize, search, examine computer data. And despite recovering thousands of desktops, laptops, and Android and iPhones, our different law enforcement agencies mandated to do forensics on them were only able to look at the tip of the iceberg. And for example, in Bamban, out of the thousands that were seized, only less than 20, if I'm not mistaken, were subjected to digital forensic examination by the PAOCC. And if I am not mistaken, none of the operations that were undertaken by all law enforcement agencies were able to trace any e-wallet, any bitcoins, or any cryptocurrency, or any digital currency for that matter.
Why weren't we able to trace them?
That is a question that is best asked to the different law enforcement agencies that were authorized by the courts to conduct the digital forensic examination. In this case, that would be the NBI Digital Forensic Laboratory and the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group.
When you say trace, meaning dun sa cellphone po ay wala po kayo nahanap na GCash o wala pong nabuksan na account dahil hindi po alam yung PIN o yung password?
Well, they were able to open a number less than 1% probably of the computer, the digital seized, but we were not able to, by means seized, we were not able to freeze any digital accounts. No? So wala kami nakita mga traces na ganon. All that the AMLAC, the MLC, was able to freeze with asset preservation orders are hard currencies and traditional bank accounts, but none of the digital bank accounts.
So it's possible that a huge amount of money could be left in these e-wallets just sitting there, not being accessed by the owners of those accounts.
That's one. That's a possibility. But if they have remote access to these digital accounts, chances are they're still using the money to be able to fund their other illicit forms of criminal activities.
Okay, what is there also a partnership ongoing with these e-wallet servers, these companies, to be able to assist the PAOCC in tracking all of these transactions and also the small-scale operations that the POGOs have devolved into?
Well, thankfully, there is a multi-agency task force that has been created by the Executive Order 74, no? And that includes the Department of Justice and even the AF. We're meeting on a regular basis every Monday. In fact, we've got our meeting at 11 o'clock today, basically to touch base with the different stakeholders, and that includes the financial technology companies, the fintech companies. No, we're just hoping that they're more responsive and they're more proactive in the response to our requests.
It seems that we need some form of guidance there. But yung proseso po ng pagbubukas ng mga account na ito, gaano po kakomplikado? Could you give us an idea of, how it is working with these tech companies and finding the right papers to get them to trace all of these transactions?
Well, it's not that easy, no, Gretchen. For one, you need to have sometimes the physical crypto wallet for one, or if not, you need to have the actual details of the digital accounts, digital financial technology accounts, for example, and you need to get PIN codes, passwords, and so on, and even the I forgot the other terms. But then again, we're really encountering a wall, so to speak, to be able to put an end to this problem in relation to digital currency. All that we're getting so far are the traditional cash, hard currencies, fungible items, build real estate properties and the like. And we believe that these are just this may prove to be insignificant in relation to the digital amount that are in this cryptocurrency or financial technology account. So we really need to get access into them.
Okay, so more than 10,000 POGO workers still looking to be found by the PAOCC. What is PAOCC relying on, and is it really going to take a year?
We're doing our very best. We do hope that we'll be able to get enough human intelligence. At this point, Gretchen, it's basically human intelligence that's driving our operations. We're getting a lot of calls, messages from concerned citizens that are seeing a good number of foreign nationals coming in and out of certain areas. And once we get those information, we try to validate them, and we apply for the relevant search warrant or immigration mission order for that matter. God willing, we'll be able to deport, neutralize a good number of them in the next few days, weeks perhaps.
All right, thank you so much for fleshing that out for us and providing context to these numbers. Maraming salamat for joining us on Morning Matters today. We have PAOCC spokesperson Winston Casio.